Good morning. We'll go ahead and begin. I know there's still some people on the way, but my name is Ryan Kendall. I'm director of the Institute of Environmental and Human Health. Welcome this morning as we celebrate our 10th anniversary here at Texas Tech University and Reese Technology Center. The 10 years went quick, but the accomplishments have been many, and today and tomorrow and Friday morning we will be celebrating those accomplishments with our many friends and supporters here in the Lubbock community and people traveling in from other parts of the United States. I wanted to briefly review some of the activities that will be occurring over the next couple of days. First of all, there will be a student toxicology expo this afternoon, which you are invited to attend. As the students, our doctoral and master's students, will be demonstrating a lot of research that they do. And they are truly our blue ribbon product. They are why we're here, is to produce the finest doctoral and master's students in the world in environmental toxicology. Tonight, we will have a gala reception and dinner at Cable's. And several hundred people will be coming to that, including visitors and guests from across the United States. Some special persons will be there, and in particular, Dr. David Schmidley, who was the Vice President of Research when we established TIEHH back in 1997. He will be coming as the new president of the University of New Mexico. Also, Chancellor Emeritus John T. Montford, who is now with AT&T and was Chancellor when we first established the Institute, will also be joining us to remark about what the plan was and what the vision was 10 years ago when this was a very unique concept. Dr. Ken Mortimer, who is the Chancellor Emeritus of the University of Hawaii system, and my first president 20-something years ago, 28 years ago, will be here because the Institute didn't form 10 years ago. The original foundations of what we're doing today started 28 years ago in an emerging field that we hadn't even named called environmental toxicology. And now it's global in perspective. Our students are sought out by organizations all over the world, and now Texas Tech enjoys a top-ranked program in this continuing important field. Tomorrow, we will have an open house from 11 to 1 p.m. And why we're doing that is that we could not have been a success story without the support of the Lubbock community. It was amazing to me how the community embraced our faculty and students when we first moved here. When we first came here, we brought 10 faculty, 25 doctoral students, and 5 staff. I would like my faculty colleagues, if they would, to stand up or just stand up today and step forward. These are some of the faculty, some of the in the back of the room, step forward. These are some of the faculty, all of them aren't here, but these are the people that make it run on a day-to-day basis. And we will be reflecting on the 10 years tonight when we'll take a faculty picture because the original picture from 10 years ago now is out of date. When we first came in 1997, we didn't have any place to work. The university was also identifying that there were facilities maybe available at what was then known as Reese Air Force Base, which was closing. Dave Schmidley and John Montford asked, would we consider locating this program at Reese Air Force Base and starting in this building? I will never forget the day when we drove out here and I walked across the front lawn. The Air Force had left and this place was real quiet. And I remember reading in the newspaper and listening to city council and so on the news how desperately worried Lubbock was that the Air Force was leaving and this would be an economic calamity. And then we were asked to be, in quotes, the anchor tenant. For those of you that don't know what that means you're the first out here, you're the guinea pig. Well, we went to work, and the city got involved, and Senator Duncan and so many people got involved to help us, our representatives. I can go on and on and on, but I'll never forget going before the State of Texas Development Board to go for $4 million. Senator Duncan was there, the mayor, city council members, and so on. The president was there, Don Harrigan and John Montford. So anyway, that was our first break, that first $4 million, which got the renovation started. And so millions were required to renovate all these facilities. This was a room you had to wear a hard hat in. It took us a long time to take the hard hat off. What you see today did not exist 10 years ago. But in December 1999, some of you may remember, we dedicated this building. And we had hundreds of people that showed up for that dedication. Hundreds. For those of you that remember, the labs were empty. There was no equipment. But the building renovation was beautiful. Now, we are opening our house again and saying, come see where we are today. Because back then, Chancellor Montford said, we will equip that building with state-of-the-art of equipment. And he'll be here tonight to talk about that. Because we did, and now I can remember when even having interactions with the FBI that come here and talk to us, they say we have better labs than the Bureau of Federal Investigation right here at TIEHH, right here at Reach Technology Center, right here in Lubbock, Texas. After the open house tomorrow, there will be a scientific symposium here in this room, and feature a number of speakers. These are all announced. And then we will proceed to Friday morning, where the Lubbock City Council and the mayor will have a special proclamation for the Institute's faculty. And the faculty and I will be at City Hall at 9:30 to be addressed and honored by our mayor and by the City Council. And that, to me, is a fairly remarkable thing, because usually cities don't get involved with university programs. But Lubbock did. And I remember when we first came here, I was very impressed with John Montford and how he worked with the city. And the alliance was strong and productive. Now, our new chancellor, Kent Hance, intends to do that. And when you're working together, look what can be achieved. It's been remarkable, the progress that's been made. Today, it's really been a very humbling, overwhelming experience to see the outpouring of interest and support and acknowledgement for what's been achieved. Because I think what we've achieved has not been just about Texas Tech University. It's been about Lubbock, our region, Texas, and so on. Today, we have representatives here of Senator Duncan's office and also Congressman Nagelbauer's office. There have been very special things that have happened in our state legislature and on the floor of Congress that representatives are here to share with you today. And this is not an unusual thing. This is very unusual. And I thought it was worthy of gathering us together. And I appreciate the press here, because we want Lubbock to share in our celebration. So I'd like to first invite to the podium Janice McCutcheon, who's the representative here for Senator Duncan, and she will tell you about the joint House-Senate resolution honoring the Institute.
Thank you, Dr. Kendall. We are very pleased on behalf of Senator Duncan to be included in your celebration today. And we bring greetings from the Senate of the State of Texas, Senate Resolution number 611. Whereas the Senate of the State of Texas is pleased to recognize the Institute for Environmental and Human Health in Lubbock on the occasion of its 10th anniversary. And whereas the Institute for Environmental and Human Health was established in 1997 at the former Reese Air Force Base, now called the Reese Technology Center. And whereas from its original 45-person staff, including faculty, support personnel, and graduate students, the Institute has grown to a staff of over 200. It has generated close to $50 million in revenue over the past decade, with an effect on the local economy estimated to be $200 million. And whereas a program developed by the Institute for Environmental and Human Health has become one of the top doctoral programs at Texas Tech University and has been described as one of the best in the country. It draws students from around the world to the university. And whereas with support from the Lubbock Economic Development Alliance, the Institute for Environmental and Human Health is renovating facilities at the Reese Technology Center. When the renovations are completed, the Institute will be able to conduct additional research in non-woven technologies and to create jobs. And whereas the Institute for Environmental and Human Health is a success story that came out of the closure of the former Reese Air Force Base, all those who have contributed to the success of the Institute are to be commended for their hard work and important achievements. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Senate of the State of Texas, 80th Legislature, hereby congratulate the members of the Institute for Environmental and Human Health on the organization's 10th anniversary and extend to all best wishes for continued success, and be it further resolved that a copy of this resolution be prepared as a memento of this special occasion. Signed, President of the Senate, David Dewhurst, Robert Duncan, Senator of the State of Texas. And I might add there's also a joint resolution between the House and the Senate that will be coming to the Institute, signed by the Governor. So we're very happy for you, and thank you for having us.
Wow. Really impressive, and I'm so thankful that you could be here with us, and please extend our appreciation to Senator Duncan. And what a friend he's been from day one, and as well as our representatives, Delvin Jones and Carl Isaac. For those of you that don't know, we don't occupy just one building now, we occupy 6 buildings. And we've gone through a process of renovation and so on, which has been really interesting. But we will be opening this particular building tomorrow, 11 to 1. But we occupy 6 buildings and 150,000 square feet, and we're full. And you're right, Janice. Students are here from all over the world, literally all over the world, and that's an exciting thing for us because they come here with a global perspective, but they leave here understanding the TIEHH way, and they're very successful, and they are our blue ribbon product. What a friend we've had in Congressman Randy Nagelbauer. And I just can't say enough. And it goes on and on what he's done for us. And I'm so appreciative that one of the staff members, Jay Barr, is here. We love all you guys. And Jimmy Clark, and he'll be here tonight. I know the congressman is wrestling big problems in Washington, D.C., and we wish he could be with us, but there's major work to be done right now. But anyway, welcome, and thank you for being here, Jim.
On behalf of Congressman Randy Nagelbauer, we're glad to be here, Dr. Kendall, and we certainly appreciate all that the Institute has initiated and has completed in fulfilling their mission and their call in protecting our environment and as it associates with that human health. And I have a plaque that I will present to you today, comments that the congressman made on the floor of the House on behalf of the Institute. And it reads as follows. Madam Speaker, I congratulate the Institute of Environmental and Human Health on reaching its 10th anniversary. The Institute was established in 1997 with a mission to stimulate and develop environmental and health sciences, research, and education at Texas Tech University and the Texas Tech Health Science Center. The Institute focuses on the integration of environmental impact assessment of toxic chemicals with human health consequences, framed in the context of science-based risk assessment to support sound environmental policy and law. Work at the Institute has resulted in applications for Homeland Security and Defense, including a new fabric that can protect our military and civilians from effects of chemical and biological weapons. The Institute first opened as the anchor tenant at then closed Reese Air Force Base, now known as Reese Technology Center, and helped make the redevelopment of Reese the most successful BRAC closure of any military base in the United States. The Institute started with a staff of 45, comprised of faculty, staff, and graduate students, now has 200 on its daily payroll, and has generated close to $50 million in revenue, while the Institute's ripple effect on the total economy is nearly $200 million. Through the past 10 years, the Institute has developed a program of national and international stature for Texas Tech and Lubbock, being described by external peer reviews as world-class, and with its academic program being called the best in the country. The Institute draws not only students from Texas, but also from undergraduate and graduate students from all over the United States and many foreign countries to Texas Tech. In its 10 short years, the Institute has become one of the top doctoral producing programs at Tech. I have worked hand in hand with the Institute to secure federal funding that supports research, to improve the resources available to protect our troops abroad and citizens at home from chemical and biological threats. When it comes to federally funded research, results matter. The Institute is quickly establishing a track record of proven results that strengthen our national security. In the next 10 years and beyond, the Institute will continue to be a research leader in the environmental and human health field. I'm proud to join the citizens of Lubbock in extending my appreciation for all the hard work and accomplishments of those at the Institute of Environmental and Human Health.
That's really beautiful. It's really very nice. Wanted to just expand on a couple of other items. The Institute sought early on to embrace the Lubbock community and created a Citizens Advisory Council. And why that's been important is that we do a lot of research that could be misconstrued, whether it be with countermeasures to biological and chemical weapons and so on. So we sought to embrace the community by having advocates that were knowledgeable and understood what we did. These persons will be honored tonight at our gala. However, the chairman of that group, Mr. Gary Lawrence, has been literally wonderful. He is currently president of the Lubbock Economic Development Alliance, and when we first came here to Lubbock, he was president of Wells Fargo Bank. Nevertheless, we have a very strong relationship with the business community and the local community. And I think that's been extremely important to our program as we have grown our alliances and our stature. In addition, as we have attempted to renovate and modify our facilities and our activities, we tried to do it with local people. In other words, at every opportunity, I would challenge the staff to find local contractors that can deliver top-flight accommodations for us. We've extensively used Park Hill Smith and Cooper architectural firm, Danny Klein Construction, among others. And we felt that keeping the money in the local community would give us that much more opportunity to make the contribution back for the local community supporting us. And boy, has that relationship worked well. In addition, as we look forward, the reporter here from the Lubbock Avalanche Journal asked us, are we going to grow? Well, I had lunch yesterday with Chancellor Kent Hance, and under his great leadership, he has said he wants this institute to grow dramatically. And we intend to grow. And we intend to seek out new opportunities. And with my colleagues, even as I speak here today, we've been notified from the U.S. Army of another $2.5 million on the way in just a few weeks. And that's growth opportunity. Okay? And so when those dollars come here, where do they go? They go into research, scientific discovery, and the opportunities that allow us to achieve excellence. As a few examples around this room, our timelines are denoted as to progress as we've unfolded with our strategic ideas and our goals. We have extensively worked with the military in new discoveries in biological and chemical weapons countermeasures. Our innovative inventions in nonwoven fabrics have literally met top priorities of the Pentagon. New sensors are being developed, new technologies to understand how weapons move, such as biological and chemical weapons. All of these things are coming together. And we will be, in just a few weeks, making a trip to the Aberdeen Proving Grounds to expand conversation of a joint alliance that will allow enhanced research and discovery from the academic side directly into the military. We are excited. We are excited about our future. And it's great to be acknowledged, and we appreciate this so much. But as I tell my colleagues, we're only as good as we will be in the future. Our future is very, very bright. As we have embraced challenging concepts and concerns, we've written the book on many of them. Several of the books we've written, as an example, Principles and Processes for Evaluating Endocrine Disruption in Wildlife. The chemical industry came to TIEHH to ask it to address a complex development with the passage of the 1996 Food Quality Protection Act, the requirement that all chemicals be tested for endocrine disruption. This could have had a multi-billion-dollar impact if not appropriately managed. We convened the scientists and developed a very comprehensive strategy for how we would engage this particular subject. And even today, many years later, those research principles are being implemented at both the EPA and in the general science as to how to address endocrine disruption. Early on, we became interested, as challenged by the Strategic Environmental Research and Development Program, to look at perchlorate, a widespread contaminant from munitions, from rocket fuels, and also from natural sources. We didn't know much about it in the country years ago, although water supplies in Texas and Arizona and California were being contaminated. We were challenged to undertake both laboratory and field research to address perchlorate, a national priority pollutant. A lot of the field work was done in East Texas, near the Caddo Lake ecosystem, our major natural lake in the state of Texas. At its headwaters was located the Karnak Army Ammunition Depot, operated by the U.S. Army and listed as a Superfund site. The site was under remediation, but who could describe the levels of clean or what is clean enough? We became the team that implemented the research and the groundbreaking discoveries as to how to measure perchlorate and how to determine its effect in the environment and what were safe levels. Just recently, this Superfund site was delisted and now has been turned over as a wildlife refuge for the state of Texas and managed by the Fish and Wildlife Service. I think that's remarkable. But it's the old adage, we can't clean up everything to prehistoric times, but we have to understand what's safe. That's what we do, and we do it well. Our work on atrazine has been nationally important. Atrazine is a widely used agricultural chemical. It's been widely investigated as to potential effects on amphibians and other wildlife. A lot of the groundbreaking research was done right here at Texas Tech that allowed the EPA to achieve good science to look at registration issues on atrazine. Atrazine was under high scrutiny for effects on amphibians, and a science advisory board was convened several years ago in Washington, D.C. for the United States Environmental Protection Agency to look at this. It was TIEHH's groundbreaking research that allowed the science board to say, wait a minute, we need to get the facts on this. And subsequently, dozens of papers were published by myself and colleagues here and at other institutions that have now formed the foundation for a scientific debate this fall as the EPA will relook at this issue and look at the facts. And that's what we are about. The truth, the facts. A true academic setting that's accountable. In this building, we have a vault. And that vault contains the raw data from 28 years of research. We implemented one of the first studies ever funded by EPA on wildlife and pesticides. That data, that raw data, can be mined as I speak today. There are not many programs that can do this. And that's why we have staying power. And now, I'd just like to say that as we reflect on our 10 years, and it has gone very fast. I wasn't as great as I was when I walked through the door the first time. I'll admit it. Some of you will see my son tonight, Ronnie. He was 3 years old and came here. Now he's as tall as me. One of my colleagues, I won't say his name, but he will bring his sons tonight. But his mother, their grandmother, was very upset when we left South Carolina because we changed people's lives. This was a great risk. We didn't have a place to work, but we had a handshake from John Montford and Dave Schmidtman. And they looked me in the eye and they said, you come here and we're going to back you. And by golly, 10 years later, I still feel the same way, and they'll be here to tell you that. There's still a good meaning of a handshake and a vision and the character and integrity to see it out. We're still here. The original core faculty, 8 of them, are still here. Means something to me. Means something to deliver. And I know they hear me say this all the time, to walk the talk. Well, by golly, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for helping Ty walk the talk. And I hope we're celebrating our 20-year anniversary, and we've got all kind of new labs around here. And you know what? I think we will. Thank you for being here today. Thank you for participating. It means a lot because this program has been about people, investing in people and giving them the best opportunity to achieve excellence. And you know what's kind of inspiring to me? When our students graduate, they don't want to leave. They like it here because we respect them. It's our way. I have so many that ask me for a job. We can't hire them all, but they go out and we have an annual anniversary. We get together at our scientific meeting. They tell me how they're doing, and I'm real proud of them. Dr. Gary Dixon will be here tonight from Syngenta Crop Protection, one of the top ag chemical firms in the world, based out of Switzerland. And he'll tell you how he's hired our PhDs right over the phone, and they're his leaders today. because they're well trained. And they're good citizens, and they understand how to seek solutions. So we've got a lot to be proud about. And I share this all with you. Thanks for the support, and let's enjoy the next day or two. I'll be happy to answer any questions. My faculty colleagues would be happy to answer questions, because this has been about a team effort, and we had to stick together to get it done. So if there are any questions and so on, I'd like to ask the faculty to hang around for a few minutes if there's some questions from the press. Other than that, I'll just close the press conference and ask if there are any questions. Okay.